Welcome to the Steps in Purpose podcast with EdieAnne. This podcast explores emotional awareness, faith, and purposeful living through short, reflective conversations designed to help you notice where you are and take your next step with clarity. Thanks for being here. Have you ever noticed how your body seems to stay on alert, even when nothing urgent is happening? Listen, if that question landed, you're in the right place. This is a safe place. Nothing needs to be solved, fixed, or figured out right now. Okay? There's a good chance survival is familiar to you. Maybe you lived there for a season. Maybe you still visit it, maybe even more often than you'd like. But maybe you've been there so long, it just feels like part of who you are. Survival's got a way of quietly becoming familiar over time. Now, when most people think of survival, they picture a crisis moment or an obvious emergency. But in real life, survival usually looks much quieter. It looks like getting up, doing what needs to be done, and setting your feelings aside because there simply is no room for them, right? Survival sounds like, I just need to get through this moment. It sounds like, I'll deal with it later. It sounds like, now is not a time to fall apart. And the truth is, survival exists in us for a reason. It shows up to keep us safe, to help us endure, and to carry us through moments when there is very little room for softness. If you have ever been in survival mode, it means something inside you decided you mattered enough to keep going. Can you hear that again? If you have ever been in survival mode, it's because something inside of you decided that you mattered enough to keep going. It means your system found a way to protect you when things felt overwhelming or unsafe. Survival is not weakness. It's actually intelligence under pressure. Survival does its job well. And it also comes with a cost. See, over time, it kind of narrows your world. It keeps you alert, guarded, and focused on managing life instead of experiencing it. You may still function well. You may still show up for everyone else. You may even look strong from the outside. But inside, there's often a constant tension that never fully goes away. This is where fight or flight often takes hold of us. Fight or flight is the body's, it's a built-in alarm system. It is designed to keep you alive, not to help you relax. It's not going to help you reflect or even feel joy. When your body senses threat, whether it's real or remembered, it shifts its protection mode on automatically. I want you to think of it like a smoke detector that's become extra sensitive because there once was a real fire. Even when the danger's gone, the alarm keeps reacting to heat, steam, or the slightest change in the air. It's not that it's broken, it's just adjusted, it's learned. Now, our bodies learn protection in much the same way. Like, fight is the part of you that braces, it tightens, controls, can sometimes even push back. It often sounds like irritability, defensiveness, urgency, or feeling easily overwhelmed. Flight is the part of you that pulls away, stays busy, makes you feel numb, or disappears emotionally so you do not have to feel what feels unsafe, right? Sometimes these responses look productive. Sometimes they look responsible. Sometimes they even look successful. Underneath them, though, your body is still scanning for danger. It's still bracing. It's still waiting for something to go wrong. When you've lived in survival for a long time, fight or flight can start to feel like your personality instead of a response. Calm can feel unfamiliar. Stillness can feel unsafe. Rest can feel like something you have to earn instead of something you are allowed to do. This does not mean anything's wrong with you. It means that your body's learned how to protect you when it mattered most, and it just never stopped. Over time, that pattern begins to show itself, right? People do not leave survival because life suddenly got easier. They begin to shift because their body and their soul get tired of bracing. Sometimes that shows up as exhaustion that rest didn't fix. Sometimes it shows up as irritability, numbness, or feeling disconnected from joy. Sometimes it shows up as a quiet realization that you're doing all the right things, but feeling very little meaning or connection to what you're doing. It's not failure. Please understand that. It's not failure. That's actually awareness beginning to stir. One of the things that survival does well is postpone emotion. It says, we can feel like that. We can feel that later, right? The problem is that later eventually arrives and everything that was set aside begins to surface. It begins to bubble up. Often there's grief there. Not always grief for what happened, but grief for what you had to become in order to survive. Grief for the parts of you that learned to stay quiet, stay tough, or stay busy so everything else would hold together. Listen, if that feels familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. You did what you needed to do. You are doing what you need to do. This is where grace belongs. And I love that word. It's my word for 2026, grace. Survival deserves compassion. Don't criticize it, right? There's no shame in that. There's no shame being in survival. Survival was a season. It's not a life sentence. In the emotion gauge that I created, survival comes right after disengaged, and they kind of teeter back and forth, right? Because when you're in survival mode, you do have that feeling of disconnection. It matters. It means energy has returned, even if safety has not fully caught up yet. It means movement is happening, even when it feels tense and guarded. So if you find yourself here, there is already movement happening, even on days it does not feel obvious, okay? Rather than pushing yourself to change or fix anything, notice what allows your body to feel even a little bit more safe. Sometimes that is rest without guilt. Sometimes it's allowing support. Sometimes it's simply acknowledging how long survival has been carrying you. These moments of honesty matter. They're often the first sign that survival has done its job and something new is beginning. In February, Volume 1 of Steps in Purpose, Survival, releases, and it explores this space more deeply, including the patterns we normalize, the body signals we overlook, and the faith questions that surface when endurance becomes a way of life. This is simply a reflection, a pause, It's a permission slip. Survival kept you going when you needed it, and you are allowed to move gently at your own pace as something new begins. Before we close, I want to leave you with one more thought. If these short reflections resonate and you find yourself wanting more clarity, more language, or a deeper understanding of where you are emotionally, there is a next step available when you're ready. The Steps in Purpose Foundation book creates the framework. The Emotion Gauge course offers deeper insight and practical tools you can use in everyday life. There's also a growing collection that I'm working on of volumes designed to meet each level of the emotion gauge. Starting with Volume 1, Disengaged, which is already available. This podcast will always be a space for awareness and reflection. The deeper work happens when you choose to step into it. A new episode will drop every Thursday at noon Eastern Time. And if you feel called to explore more, you can find those resources at www.EdieAnne.com. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your next step matters. Until next time, keep stepping in purpose.